When people think of Abu Dhabi, they often picture that. Giant, shiny skyscrapers coming out of the sand. However, it also has a very rich history going back over 250 years, and here we are at one of the oldest standing structures, Qasr al-Hosn. Let's go take a look. This is one of the first exhibitions here at Qasr al-Hosn, and I think it's a great example of how Abu Dhabi has been able to take its culture and its history and blend it with some of the newest technologies around. I mean, I wish I had one of these. This photograph was taken 114 years ago, and it not only shows what al-Hosn looked like in its original structure, but it also shows Sheikh Zayed I, who was the longest continuous ruler of Abu Dhabi, and he set the foundations for the modern nation we now know. So this is the historic Watchtower. It's the oldest permanent structure here in Abu Dhabi. Built in the 1790s, it was the tallest building in the place at the same time. It used to oversee the coastal waterways, the trade routes, as well as to help protect the growing settlement here on the island. And with walls that thick, it not only kept things safe, it kept things cool. Al-Hosn not only had thick walls, but they had spikes on the doors. Ain't no one getting through here. And if you can see this gentleman right behind me, he took over rule of Abu Dhabi following Sheikh Zayed I and helped to transition the economy from one based on pearls to one based on oil. In 1966, Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, father of the nation, came to power. It is thanks to him that Abu Dhabi is now known as a global city. It is because of his leadership and his vision that all 7 emirates were united as one. After 11 years of restoration, Qasr al-Hosn is finally open to the public. Located in downtown Abu Dhabi, the contrast of old and new is unbeatable. Just take a look around. While Qasr al-Hosn represents one of the oldest landmarks in the UAE, now we'll take a visit to one of the country's newest cultural marvels, the Louvre Abu Dhabi. It is the first universal museum in the Arab world, bringing together art from all different cultures from the ancient times to the contemporary era. We are now standing underneath the dome of Louvre Abu Dhabi. This is pretty incredible, and despite the fact that we've brought you here in VR to try to give you a glimpse into what this is like, you really have to be here to experience it. This place was designed by Jean Nouvel to kind of mimic, or I guess he was inspired by, some of the palm fronds in the deserts of Al Ain. This dome is 8 layers thick. There's about 8,000 stars that have been created, and I don't know, I just feel like I'm sitting in some futuristic gallery on a planet somewhere else. The Louvre is unlike most museums around the world where it doesn't create collections to separate. It's designed to show the similarities between cultures rather than the differences we may artificially create. And it really is about showing how people around the world have found similar ways to express ourselves through art of many different types. Now, I am in the Manga lab at Louvre Abu Dhabi. This is another great example of the kind of collaborative effort of different cultures around the world to create art. And then we, as the attendees, get to come in and express ourselves and color it in as we see fit. This installation actually has 5 components to it. There's the expression walls here, where we as individuals get to come in and make our own art. There's the arcade over here if we want to play. There are the chill and read sections in the back. And then right here on the opposite side of me is actually the VR lab, where you can engage in virtual reality versions of a lot of this artwork. So have some fun, like she is. We will now take a quick visit to Wahat Al Karama. This is a permanent memorial to the heroes of the United Arab Emirates. Sitting directly across from Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque.
The UAE and Abu Dhabi is obviously a place steeped in tradition, dignity, and of course beauty. And I think what we just witnessed is a great example of that. How this country is leveraging its own culture and its history, but are finding a way to share it with the rest of the world and bring us together at the same time. I'll leave you to reflect on that while I enjoy the final bits of sunset here at Wahat Al Karama. Hope you do too.
We hope you've enjoyed this quick tour of some of Abu Dhabi's oldest and newest landmarks. This year has brought many changes to the world. And more so than ever, we are learning that it is by working together that we can break down the walls of indifference and unite to overcome common challenges. In today's age, it is more important than ever to explore the unknown, celebrate each other's cultures, and find new ways to see the similarities we share on this tiny little planet.